Hi there, namaste, and welcome back to another spiritualistic pick a card reading. Today we are looking at your soul's blueprint for success. So please take a deep breath, drawing the energy up your spine, creating a clear and open channel. And as you exhale, allow yourself to come into clear knowing which group or groups has your message in it for you today. We have group number 1 on the left with a door is opening. Group number 2 in the center with Psychometry and Clairabilities. And group number 3 on the right with Calling in Manifestations. In the description box below, you are going to find the timestamps to your readings. You're also going to find links to my 21-day guided meditation retreat, which just launched. It is 21 days of guided meditation with me. It is fully virtual, so it's go at your own pace, and you also have access to it literally forever. So you can skip around the meditations that really resonate with you. You can allow it to be a guide for you in your meditation journey from here on out, and it's a wonderful way for us to hold hands and walk down this journey together. In the description box, you will also find my links to personals. So if you are interested in a one-on-one with me, I do offer tarot, astrology, astrocartography, straight channeling, and Reiki. I'm also doing personalized light codes as well for those of you who are interested in that. You can also find there my spiritual store, where you'll be able to find my personal tarot and oracle decks, as well as crystals that I hand wrap, candles that I make, books I've written, journals that I've designed, merchandise for Spiritualistik, and a lot of cute little fun things that I like to make and put on my storefront. You'll also find, of course, the link to my website. There's a nice blog on there so you can just learn a lot for free. You can meditate with me for free on my website as well. So there's a lot of fun stuff going on. If you're interested, you can also find the link to my P.O. box. A lot of you like to write me little things and send me stuff in the mail. It's never expected, but it's always deeply appreciated, and it always makes my day when someone writes me a cute little letter or sends me a little crystal or something. So that is in there as well. So thank you so much for being here with me today. Of course, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It means the world to me, and it helps me follow my dreams. And also, if you're interested in following me on TikTok, where I do have the largest audience, you are more than welcome to see what's going on over there. If you want to follow me on Instagram, where I've got the smallest audience, you are more than welcome to hang out with me over there as well. And with everything else being said, I love you, I'm grateful for you, and I'll see you over at your reading. Namaste. Hi there, group 1. Namaste, and welcome to your reading. Today we are taking a look at your soul's blueprint for success, and you selected the first group with the A Door is Opening card. Now, the first thing I'm getting here, group 1, is that there is a very timely reason for you finding this pile and this reading when you have. So this lets me know that there are doors that are opening for you currently. Now, of course, we're looking at your soul's blueprint for success. But right now, I'm really getting that you are on top of a door that's opening. You are right on top of the soul's blueprint. And so this kind of goes to say that in this kind of energy, if you were to look up, you could see a blueprint, or hypothetically, if you're zoomed out, you could look down and see a blueprint, but you are right in stride with that blueprint, which means that you might notice opportunities coming in, doors opening, things kind of changing and shifting a little bit, a lot of events going on, but also you're right on top of it. And so when you are walking down a road, you don't necessarily see the GPS perspective of where it is that you're going directionally, like topographically, if you will. So this is the first message that I'm getting for you. A door is opening for you right now, and your soul's blueprint for success has a lot to do with you expressing or talking about the doors that are opening for you right now. Now, I'm not getting in a sense where you are saying, hey, this door has opened, should I walk through it? Or even sharing this moment by moment with your loved ones. Rather, the energy that's coming through here as your soul's blueprint has a lot to do with you walking through doors that are opening and then you sharing that after the fact. For example, I'm being shown, come spend the day with me at Coachella. Now you share that after you've had that day. So this kind of doesn't allow other energies to come in and kind of infiltrate that, right? So what I'm really getting for your soul's blueprint, it has a lot to do with you sharing behind the scenes and also being a little bit opportunistic, and of course the positive ethical sense of the word opportunistic, of course. So to become a little more opportunistic, to allow yourself to walk through those doors. And then a big thing I'm getting here is don't try to hide your blessings. Don't try to hide your blessings after the fact, okay? There's a little bit of this energy here where perhaps you're very abundant in a particular area of life, right? And so it might not be perhaps classy to speak about your abundance, right? That's not what we're speaking about here. But what this might look like is, say you are receiving a large amount of abundance in any area of life, right? And maybe you don't want to maybe share about it immediately, or you're really excited and you do want to share about it, right? Think of this like a new love or an exciting new job, whatever it is. The blueprint here for you, specifically for success, it looks a lot like you deciding for yourself that, well, maybe you're not sharing the number in your bank account, of course. Maybe you are not telling all of your friends and family about somebody that you are thinking about starting to date, but rather, what this would look like for you is you stepping through these doors, thoroughly enjoying it, and then not trying to hide and gatekeep the beautiful abundance or luxury that comes from that, right? It can be talking about the positive things that are occurring in your life. It can be talking about how you went on this cool business trip and you really enjoyed it, but how you went on this business trip and you really enjoyed it, not how you're going on this business trip, not until after the fact. So the blueprint here, it is for you to walk through doors, I'm hearing unabashedly, which always reminds me of the poem Hope is a Thing with Feathers by Emily Dickinson, okay? I picked it for a 4th grade project, and it is my poem now. Anyway, so this energy is a lot to do with you allowing yourself to walk through these doors, but then also sharing at the end of the day. Now, for a lot of you, you're thinking share like give away. A lot of you who are on this channel in the first place and that will resonate with this energy, you're likely very humanitarian. You might be more than blessed and you might like to give that away as well. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but in your soul's blueprint, make sure that you are not giving away, like make sure that it's not, I'm getting 50-50. Make sure that you are receiving the blessings that you have energetically attuned to, you have worked hard for, you have agreed upon in this lifetime. And then with the surplus, with other people's smiles, it's beautiful, it's wonderful, be humanitarian about it. But make sure that what is designated as your blessings in this life, you're being encouraged not to keep them locked into yourself. There might be a little bit of sometimes we can get shy when things are going really well in our life, right? Especially if we're around other people who might not be experiencing those opportunities. Especially if you're not sure if the people around you would actually support you doing really well in your career. And it's not to say you're not surrounded by beautiful, wonderful people. It's just that sometimes if you are in a group, say you're in a group of friends and you are all like, woohoo, we're single, when you fall in love and you decide, hey, maybe I want to like actually be with this person for a long period of time. Maybe you might feel shy about bringing that to that friend group. If you are really abundant, if you're doing really financially well off and you're surrounded by people who all the time they're complaining about not being financially well off, almost like it's a trophy, right? You might feel a little shy about coming to them and saying, well, actually, I don't have that problem. You might smile and nod. Now put this in whichever context fits for your life. However, your soul's blueprint for success, it is actually to not withhold those aspects to yourself and do share, but not in a place where others might feel entitled to what it is that is your blessing. Right? So a little bit of boundaries here. This might have been something you've walked through, right, a little bit before or as the doors start opening for you. You might notice the doors start opening and you need to learn a little bit about boundaries. And then doors open and then boundaries. And then you learn even more boundaries and then you're like, okay, good. Then more doors start opening. Okay. So there's a little bit of this give and take vibe here that's going on. Let's say give and receive. So your soul's blueprint for success. This is a lot about you saying yes to opportunities, right? So there might be a couple of you out there or a couple areas of life where some of you are feeling, say that you get an opportunity to do something you haven't done before and maybe you want to do it, but because it's new or because you don't know anyone else who does it or because maybe it's laughed at or something. I will never forget the first time that I told a big group of people, like actually they're like, what is your job? And at that point in time, my most authentic answer was, I'm a TikToker. And although I could have been allegedly the most successful in my career at that table, the response I got was 20 people laughing at me and like, oh, haha, like that's adorable of you. Like, you know, what's like, do you have a job? Okay. So this energy here, okay, this can lead to something where you're being encouraged to be open. You're being encouraged to share your blessings, not in a way where you're giving them away, but in a way where you walk through them silently. And then you do share afterwards. You don't hold it in because maybe they don't understand your abundance. Maybe you hold it in because they don't understand your positive opportunities. Maybe you hold it in because you don't want them to judge you in good ways or bad ways, or to look at you differently because you're blessed, or because you work hard, or because something worked out for you and it didn't for them. Your blueprint for success has a lot to do with you accepting it when you take first place. And when people ask you, hey, how did you do? I remember you had this thing coming up. You tell them, hey, I got first place. I won. And not feeling weird about that, and owning that energy and embodying that. Of course, not in a way that is arrogant or cocky, but also this message wouldn't be coming out in the first place if that was your tendency, or even within your subconscious, of course. So we're going to get into the tarot, and we'll get some more information on your soul's blueprint to success here. So, Spirit, angel, spirits, guides, ancestors of group number 1, higher self of group 1, source, spirit, tell us about group number 1's soul's blueprint for success. Okay. Yes, this has a lot to do with right place, right time, being soul-led and intuitively led, following your heart. This is the kind of thing where I'm receiving that you are in heart-mind coherence, meaning that your logical mind and your heart, they are aligned. They don't disagree with each other, and they also align with your higher self. You definitely follow your intuitive nudges, and you do the best that you can to be ethical with every single thing that you do. So your soul's blueprint does look a lot like you following your heart. It looks like you exploring the options that are passionate for you. You might be the kind of person who doesn't have simply one passion. You might have 20. You don't have one hobby. You have 8. You don't have one person you want to be when you grow up, no matter what age you are, right? You might have 50, right? And your soul's blueprint for success is actually to follow as many of them as you can within your own bandwidth, at your own pace, at your own time. It is to walk through the doors that your heart and intuition and your mind lead you to at each point. So you might find that you have a lot of different chapters throughout this life, maybe more than average. You might also find here that you are very spiritually connected, and that for this reason, you actually have clarity about what is and is not meant for you. You actually have clarity when your heart wants something. You understand, oh, your heart wants it. Your intuition is leading you towards it. It's in alignment with your most authentic self, mind, body, and spirit. It's not that your emotion wants it out of a distortion or a trauma response or a lack of understanding or a need to learn a lesson. Rather, it's coming through clarity. And your soul's blueprint for success has a lot to do with, I'm hearing the word simpatico, like being in the right place at the right time. It has a lot to do with you enjoying the moment, following your heart, maybe taking on these little side quests, embodying everything that you would like to do. It's a bit eclectic. And this is your blueprint for success because it's intuitively led. It's not chaotic. It's not ego-driven. It's not a trauma response. Rather, it's you exploring your options because you are not only here to do one thing. You are here to open doors. You're here to walk through doors. Therefore, there is more than one door that you will walk through in this life. So your soul's blueprint for success, it does have a bit to do with other people, but not too much, a little bit. So you'll find that a lot of this has to do with people who are aligned with you in some way, whether it's for a reason or for a season, for a day or for a lifetime. So you might find that you have a lot of your, let's say, character development in positive ways or negative ways. You might find that a lot of those have to do with other people, and that these are the energies that transform you. It can be that perhaps you walked a particular journey because you met this particular person and it changed you for the better. Perhaps there's a particular person in your life that really you needed, like the lesson out of that was, wow, I really shouldn't settle and I really need to learn about boundaries, and that transformed you for the better. So whether it's through a positive feeling or a negative feeling, we do have this sense of transformation through interactions with people. And this is a part of your soul's blueprint for success, believe it or not, because your intuition is leading you to and through these people, to and through these energies. And you do have a lot of different options here, so I'm definitely hearing keep it moving. So there are a lot of things, a lot of people. Again, we're getting this energy of you living a million lifetimes just within this lifetime. You do, however, need to stay somewhat in the state of almost permanent detachment for this to continue to work. Now, this is a part of the blueprint here, and you're aware of this, and it's something that you practiced, and it might be sometimes really exciting for you and really cool, and sometimes it might be kind of sad and kind of like not cool, but it seems as though you almost need to maintain the state of detachment. For example, I'm hearing don't get too close or don't get too comfortable, so that can be maybe a negative manifestation of such, right? Depending on the situation. It might be, say you step in a job and you really love it and you're thriving, and there's just this little voice in your head that tells you, but this isn't permanent. Even though you might love it, you might want it to be. Say that you are in a romantic situation and there's this little voice in your head that just knows, like, you're supposed to be here, you're supposed to enjoy it, and it might be years. However, just stay detached, right? So there's a little bit of this energy because you are meant to live a million lives within this lifetime, and it's beautiful, and it's part of your soul's blueprint. However, that's not to say it's not easier said than done. From a spiritual place and from and let's say free-spirited place, it's beautiful, it's wonderful, it's glorious. Now to ground it and to walk through it, especially those moments of detachment, which likely come at places where you're about to feel actually attached, right? This is spiritual, this is positive. It is the universe doing you a favor, because detachment is the characteristic of the crown chakra, of our spiritual connection. It's beautiful. It does also mean that you're intuitively led, but also to detach in moments where you feel the human natural urge to attach doesn't make it easier on our human experience. So we can sit with that and we can honor that and we can validate that as well. But your soul's blueprint for success here. Notice that this speaks about your inherent abundance and letting it shine. Your abundance comes a lot from the multidimensionality, the multifaceted nature that is yourself internally. And so a lot of this is going to have to do with you exploring a little bit of everything. It's most likely taking you through a journey through, let's say, your 7 chakras, where you go through a journey where you are having so much fun. You are all about your money. You are all about your house. You are all about your home, right? Root chakra stuff. You're all about survivalism. You are all about van life, right? The next one might be you're all about pleasure. You're all about luxury. You're all about sensuality. You're all about tantra. You're all about your emotions. You're all about art. You're all about things like this, sacral. And so on and so forth. So with this, it is so easy to get kind of carried away from one chakra without acknowledging that it is a season of a whole entire show. Just one season. And seasons have many episodes, so sometimes they last a long time, right? But they're different chapters. And this is why it comes back to that detachment energy. It's why it comes back to this King of Wands, this 8 of Cups, 2 of Wands, death, and a door's opening, because your spirituality is the main focus. It is your soul's blueprint. It is your spiritual journey. Of course, that is your soul's blueprint for success. It is your connection with your soul. When we look at our soul's blueprint for success here, there are a lot of different interpretations that this can take. One being, what is your soul's blueprint for success in this life? Maybe meaning money to some, maybe meaning power or fame to another, maybe meaning romantic love to yet another. And now, yet again, there can be another perspective of this. What is your soul's blueprint for success? To clear out all your karma, to close out all of your ties, to see what is needing to be cleansed and purged and fixed and healed and reconstructed. Your soul's blueprint for success here, Group 1, it's not really either of these energies, although I would be willing to bet that you would lean more towards the spiritual interpretation. Your soul's blueprint for success, it has a lot for you to do with connecting back to oneness. I'm hearing the song What I Know by Trevor Hall. It says, what I know is that I don't know. And it's kind of the song that explores that idea. It's this spiritual exploration. It's this curiosity. I'm hearing curiosity killed the cat. I'm getting not for Group 1. Okay. Your soul's blueprint for success has a lot to do with you through your spiritual mastery, having those renewed eyes almost of a child, not in a naive or uneducated sense, but in the sense where the child is very spiritually connected to the point where before the world imprints upon them, they can still remember other lifetimes. They can still understand, perhaps, mysteries of the universe. They understand pure unconditional love and gratitude. And so you have this embodied energy of experience, of growth, of gravitas, but also of the spiritual purity already. So your wonder, your exploration, your curiosity is your soul's blueprint for success, because you follow your intuition and you follow your heart, and you are so intuitively led that you have the most precise arrow out of all of the archers. And at the same time, you allow the wind to blow you back and forth more than any of the leaves. And it is that duality, it is that dynamic that you embody, and that also is your soul's blueprint for success. And that's not to say sometimes the leaf won't fall on the ground and say, "Ah, yes, stability," before it gets picked up by the wind again. And that's also not to say that the archer might not get sick and tired of creating arrow and after arrow after arrow, or going out and buying arrow after arrow after arrow, or even working very hard to acquire the resources to buy the arrows or the resources to make the arrows, right? It's not to say that the archer's arm won't get tired, or that they might not want to go recover perhaps as many arrows as they can to see whether or not they're damaged and can be used once more. And that is an analogy for the human experience that is manifest with this soul's blueprint for success. Now, your soul's blueprint for success, as mentioned, it is the leaf allowing itself to be blown by the wind. It is the most precise archer who sometimes might be bored of being a little too, let's say, hyper-perfect. The expectations on this archer, as amazing as they may be, might be uncomfortably high to sustain. Because maybe the archer would love to rest. Maybe the archer would love someone to not stare at them and expect them to be perfect every single time, although they are, and they show up for it. But your soul's blueprint for success, it has a lot to do with you continuing to move forward and continuing to explore soul journeys, plural. You'll notice also in your spiritual journey that it unfolds like different layers, like an egg within an egg within an egg within an egg, like Russian dolls. Rather than you finding one paradigm and then navigating it like its own little world, you've done that. And you shed it, and you explored the larger one, and you shed that too, until you explored a larger one, and you shed that one too, to the point where you started looking at what is outside of this system. And so this expression, this embodiment, this curiosity, this intuitively led, this heart-mind coherence, plus this intuition, plus your ability to continue to transform constantly, it leads you to live millions of lives within this lifetime. Infinite lives within your soul. And that is the blueprint. The blueprint of yours is one of co-creation. It's one of curiosity. It's one of embodiment. It's one of exploration. People come to see you make art, group number one, because there never has been and never will be another piece of art like the one you're making right now, including coming from you, which is a lot of pressure, but also a beautiful thing. And so this essence is your soul's blueprint for success. Success being, for you, detachment and transformation, your evolution, and your ability to be fully present and grounded and also detached and conscious at the same time. And being shown the Yorobro, which is the snake that eats its tail. So, group number one, this is your soul's blueprint for success. I would bet that you will have another reading in another pile, because you are an explorer, you're a wanderer, you are multifaceted. Therefore, for different journeys in your life, for some of those microcosms within this macrocosm, you might at some point find a message for you in one of the other readings for that reason. So group number one, I hope this helped shed love, light, and clarity for you. If you would like to meditate with me, you can find the link in the description box below. If you would like to work one-on-one with me, you can find that in the description box below as well. You'll find that on my Etsy store. So I have an entire spiritual store with decks, tarot and oracle decks, books that I've written, journals I've created, crystals that I wrap, candles that I've designed, merch for Spiritualistik, for your zodiac sign, a lot of really fun, cool spiritual stuff on there. I have a whole storefront, so please check it out. I've got meditation cushions to go with the meditation retreat if you're interested in that. We are now heading into our second book club meeting, so it's going to be in the beginning of August 2025. If you're interested in joining that, we are reading Super Rich by Russell Simmons. This is a book on internal abundance and having a rich life in all areas of life. It is written by half yogi, half co-founder of Def Jam Records and author of several other philosophical spiritual books. So that is the book that we voted for this upcoming meeting. So if you're interested, that's on Patreon. It is donation-based, $1 barrier to entry. We have a meeting in August. We've got forums going on. So if you want to just read the book alongside us, you can, and not interact. If you want to just type in the forums, you can chat with other people. That's totally cool. Also, if you want to show up to the meeting and we can have a little live chat, that's always been really fun. So we can do that as well. So there are a lot of different options for your comfort level and your schedule and all of that stuff. So with that being said, I do have exclusive content here on YouTube, on Patreon, and I also have an exclusive channel over on TikTok. Don't forget to follow me over there. I do collective readings all the time. I've got my largest following there. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. I've got my smallest following over there, and that's kind of where I get a little more creative and I kind of just share with you behind the scenes of my life. And of course, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe here on YouTube, because above all, that helps me the most in the long run, and it also means the most to me at this point in time. So thank you for that. If you drop a comment, it helps boost the algorithm a little bit. If you share the video with somebody who you think might enjoy it, I would appreciate that. If you like it or you follow my channel, it lets other people find the readings that are meant for them when it's time. It also lets you know when I post another reading that might resonate with you as well. So with all of that being said, I love you and I'm grateful for you. Please have an amazing rest of your day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful magical realm. Feel free to check out another pile if that part resonated with you, or a whole other reading. I've got tons here. And I will see you next time. Namaste. Hi there, Group 2. Namaste and welcome to your reading. Today we are looking at your soul's blueprint for success, and you selected the second group with the Psychometry and Clairabilities card. Group 2. The first thing that I'm getting here is that you are a very, very strong intuitive. Your spiritual abilities, your manifestation abilities, your connection to spirituality is very, very strong. Now, of course, you know this, but for a lot of you, it might be stronger than you even currently know, and you know that it is strong. But your soul's blueprint for success has a lot to do with self-realization and actually utilizing your spiritual gifts and abilities in order to manifest success in your life. Now, I'm called to mention that success has a different definition depending on who it is that you are speaking to. So everyone has an individual definition of success. Now, it might not be the Webster's Dictionary definition, but for one, success might be a financial opportunity. For another, success might be inner peace. For a third, success might be hitting a particular milestone in life, in their health, in their business, in their personal life, right? But your soul's blueprint for success across the board has a lot to do with you connecting with your spiritual gifts, connecting with your spirituality, and not just being in the consciousness, not just being in that meditative state, but actually embodying and applying these gifts in some way. So, especially with psychometry, this is where you're able to, well, an example of psychometry is, say you're in an antique shop or you're holding an antique or something that's been passed down or a relic or something. This is when, through touch, you can pick up information. So, for example, say that you have a shirt of somebody. By holding that shirt, you can pick up information from that person's energy. You might see it, you might hear it, you might feel it, right? Those are the clairabilities. But psychometry is a way to connect, just like some will use tools like tarot cards or crystal balls or bowls of water, coffee grounds, tea leaves, etc. And you also can use no tools, right? And so with that, psychometry is utilizing your physical touch in order to connect with energy of things. Now, for the empaths out there, for the clairsentients out there who feel very strongly other people's energy, you can imagine how heightened this sensitivity must be if you are walking in a room and you're able to feel what's going on around you. Now you get closer and closer to that energy. You are touching that energy physically with your hand. Now that is such a sensitization. You are probably, for a lot of you, even taking on all of that energy, especially when you are touching it, when you're connected to it. And so the way that you receive information, whether you embody it, whether you feel it, whether you see it, you hear it, you experience it, right, is individual. But your soul's blueprint for success has a lot to do with this. I'm also getting remote viewing, remote experiencing too. So a lot of you have the ability to put yourself in the shoes of others, either like directly through clairsentience or empathy, or through your spiritual gifts and abilities that are outside of these just mentioned. And so your blueprint for success has a lot to do with you honing in, and I'm really hearing the word leveraging these spiritual gifts that you have. Some of you might be, for example, mediums, and you might not necessarily be very public about it. You might not be very comfortable about it. You might even try to shut it out. Some of you, same with the clairsentients out there, also known as empaths, right? You can pick up on a lot of information, and sometimes it can be really overwhelming for the same reason, but it's a different experience. And so you might want to shut it out. You might try to do the best that you can to keep yourself away from crowded places. You might try to pick up different tools, whether it's crystals or energetic cleansing or protection, whatever it is that works for you and your system. Some people ground, some people use light, some people simply are selective about what it is that they're around, right? Other people, they learn how to strengthen it and learn how to step beyond that era, beyond that energetic pattern. But wherever it is that you are, your soul's blueprint for success has a lot to do with you utilizing the gifts and tools that you have and making a home by using these, making a home in this energy, making a home in your gifts by trying something new. It also seems as though you have some sort of spiritual gifts and abilities that are either less heard of, not very common, or they might be totally unique, where you might perhaps Google them, you might ask around, you might kind of do some research, and you might not be able to find anyone else with the same gift. While you might have some of the classics, right? Clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance, you might also have something that is very unique, very unheard of, very special. And in some way, this is a gift to you. Now, there is also this processing energy that I'm being shown here. Your soul's blueprint for success, I'm being shown for you. I'm getting a linear energy just to describe the pattern. Okay, as we know, all energies are not linear. It is simply a perception of the third dimensional realm. So allow me to explain the energy that I'm receiving in this linear format, just so we can translate it and move on to the tarot, okay? So first, we have this gift, and we have this awareness of this gift. We have it kind of just existing, but your awareness of it. It is creating perhaps narratives in your mind. What is this? Where did it come from? How do I use this? Do other people have it? What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to use this? Is this, maybe, is this ethical? Is this weird? Is this true? How does this apply to other aspects of my life, right? So we've got the, psychoanalysis going on here. Now, we also have this awareness that this is a spiritual energy. And so when you connect with it spiritually, it goes beyond the mind. As it goes beyond the mind, you find that this is part of your consciousness. It's part of your being. You find a home in it. And as it's a part of your home, it becomes more natural for you. As it's more natural for you to be in this energy, it's more natural for you to use this energy. And as you are feeling comfortable in this energy, around this energy, using this energy, you find that you begin to apply it in ways that it has not been applied before. You find that you use it in a new way. You find using trial and error of your spiritual gifts, your specific, let's call it secret recipe, if you will. You find by trial and error your specific utilization of this energy. Now, there's something here that you are meant to do with this. However, the journey of exploration of this, the journey of finding this, is also a significant part of what you're meant to do in this path. because of the legacy it leaves behind, because of the lead by example kind of energy. I'm being shown, say that this journey of maybe mastering this gift, coming into your own, using the spiritual gifts and abilities, coming into your comfort with being spiritual or psychic, or coming into your comfort with this, and then learning how to apply it, or where are you supposed to put it, or how does this apply to your life path, or how can you use this in your life, or where does it go, how do you help people, whatever it is for you. The journey of walking this. I'm being shown you walking barefoot down a path, representing this journey. And every step that you take, you are leaving a trail of glitter behind you, or magic. I'm being shown like gold sparkles, like gold glitter. So it's literally like, it's gold, it's sparkles, it's magic, it's abundance. And so it's almost leaving this trail behind you so that others who wish to walk the path do not get lost. And so you walking this journey is just as important as all of the milestones, if you will, along the way. Now, that is a linear explanation of this energy. We'll get into the tarot here, and we'll take a deeper look at your soul's blueprint for success. So let's see for you here. Group number 2's soul's blueprint for success. Okay, what do we have here? Okay, so we definitely have this playfulness with the spiritual realm. Okay, now as we know, the Knight of Wands is known for let's say whimsical energy, because that's pretty central. Okay, Knight of Wands can be of course spiritual, it can be of course playful, it can be of course sensual or creative, but we have the Wheel of Fortune. This can speak about you hitting the nail on the head. It's kind of like connecting to the energy we received earlier, this energy of like almost playfulness, whimsical energy, trial and error, throwing noodles up against the wall to see which one sticks kind of energy, until you find the one that does. Now with this, there's a little bit of a question here pertaining to, is it really that easy? I'm also getting there's a question of, is it ethical for you to utilize this gift that you have, okay, coming through? Now this is also part of the journey towards your success, because there is this awareness that you would not have been divinely bestowed a spiritual gift if the, let's say, universe did not intend to give you this gift. You are not being sneaky by being spiritual. You're not being sneaky by being clairvoyant. You are not picking up information that is not your business if you're picking up information you feel is not your business. So there's a little bit of this energy here that's coming through. Now, your soul's blueprint for success, I have to say, group number 2, with these cards coming out, there's this bit of energy where you might notice that because you have these gifts, things come to you a little bit easier, right? Like you might be very good at manifesting. And so this might be part of why you're wondering, is it fair for me to just know what's coming so I can avoid it or I can act accordingly? Is it fair for me to be able to manifest so easily? I can just manifest whatever I'd like, and there are people out there that are struggling, right? So we have this energy of, do you use your spiritual gifts for you? Do you use your spiritual gifts for the greater good? Do you renounce your spiritual gifts? Do you allow the universe to act the way that it's going to, and you continue to be on your own energy, being your own self, whether that is humanitarian or it's focusing on your self-love journey, wherever it is that you are in your path, whatever feels right for you, and let the universe take care of the rest? There's a little bit of this question here of, well, if the universe is always being intentional, then it makes sense that you have this gift, that you have these gifts. If the universe is always being intentional, then why would the universe show you things that could be changed or give you the ability to change it? So there's this question here, there's this journey, and the process of this journey, it's awakening in consciousness, and it is helping other people who might have the same questions, who might deal with the same things in different areas of life, have some sort of leader to follow in, let's call it more of a niche energy. Now, when this pertains to your blueprint for success, we do see that there's a little bit of this energy of you kind of having, let's call it lucky girl syndrome, okay? Lucky group 2 syndrome, okay? Now, this is also going to lead you into, well, you can have whatever you'd like in this world. And so when you can have whatever you'd like in this world, when you can understand what's going to happen, when you can use all of your spiritual gifts and abilities, when things might be a little more easy for you, you might also be questioning, yes, not only the ethics of this, but also the question of, so what is it that you do want to manifest? And we have this energy of you being able to utilize this in tangible ways and then detaching from it. So this is a big part of your soul's blueprint for success. Okay, so this looks like you having luck, you having spiritual awareness, and this bringing you luck, for lack of a better term. It's not really luck, it's consciousness, it's positive karma. It is good things happening to a good person. It's something like this. Now, when the universe is granting you gifts, and some of them will be spiritual, some of them will be mental, some of them will be emotional, some of them will be physical and tangible. When the universe is gifting you physical gifts, or emotional gifts, or even spiritual visions, your job here and your blueprint for success is not to become attached to them. It is to stay detached and continue to understand that whatever paradigm you are in, there is larger than. Whatever information you are spiritually, psychically downloading and understanding, there is a story that is larger than that is more expanded than that. There is still a truth outside of that. Anything you can fathom, there is something larger than. And so, this can also manifest in physical ways as well. When you are utilizing your spiritual gifts, when you are standing in your life path, in your dharma, in your purpose, and because you're doing this, things get lucky for you. You might find that it is easier for you to accumulate wealth. You might find that your material world is quite comfortable, quite abundant, whether that is an abundance of trees, an abundance of stuff, an abundance of both, or an abundance of neither, and it's just whatever makes you feel good as an individual human in this earth. When you are in your spiritual energies and you are working like this through the world, you're also going to find that the universe is also appeasing your individual human nature. That's right. The version of you that also has an ego. Not in a bad way. The version of you that has a solar plexus, as all creatures here do. Now, with that being the case, your blueprint here is to allow this to come in, be comfortable with it, normalize it, naturalize it, but do not get attached to it. Continue to know that there is bigger than that. There are still bigger fish to fry, whether it's spiritual or you can hold it in your hands. Now, that's not negating the gifts. It's not saying to dismiss them, but it is saying just to be aware that if you receive something that you've tried to manifest for so long materially, there are still things that are more important than that, but that doesn't mean that you don't get to experience what it is that you'd like to have in this world, or that you shouldn't want those things. Now, the same thing spiritually. When you have this consciousness, you receive this understanding that you would like. When you finally receive it, when you have all these beautiful gifts and visions and downloads and things, there's also this awareness that is being called for you to have, that there is still larger than what it is that you are experiencing. There's still more truth than what it is that you currently have access to. And so you're being encouraged to move from this place of detachment and getting to experience almost the most that the world has to offer, the most that the universe has to offer, the most that your emotional and mental experiences have to offer, while you are in this decisive energy of continuing to know that there's still forward to be moving. Now, similarly to the example given at the beginning of the reading with getting comfortable with the abundance in your spiritual gifts, you're also encouraged to become comfortable with the blessings that come across the board, the myriad of blessings that are going to continue to come. And as you get comfortable with them, you learn new ways to apply them, which means that you're not holding on to them. So, this might be that your soul's blueprint for success has something to do with, I'm hearing, resource redistribution or reallocation of something. This can also be with your spiritual abilities as well. It can be, I'm hearing the word psychopomp. This is you really owning and being comfortable with the fact that you are blessed and the fact that you are lucky. And also really owning and being comfortable with the fact that you can have an entire kingdom. However, you're not attached to it. It reminds me of the story where there was a child. This is like an allegorical story, okay? There was this child who was seeking spiritual enlightenment. And they go through all of the sages, all of the teachers, all of the gurus in the area and beyond, and they're not advanced enough for him. And so they all say, they send him to the next, and they ask, who is the most evolved, like who is the most spiritually advanced person that I can teach from, or that I can learn from? And the answer is the king in the kingdom over here in the big giant castle. And so the the student kind of scoffs a little bit, and they're like, what, that abundant person over there with all the jewels and all the armies and all the big fancy castles and all the, right? And he kind of scoffs, and he's like, well, whatever, I'll go over there. Now, the king is sitting there covered in jewels, books everywhere, gorgeous marble castle. And this kid asks, teach me spirituality. What are the books that you have? Like, wow me, open my eyes, put my jaw on the floor. And the king says, why don't we sit for a moment? That is not, what you are asking is not the answer that you seek. And the kid's like, you don't know what answer I seek. Obviously, I'm looking for spiritual awakening. You're just trying to scam me, blah, blah, blah. And the castle that the king is in gets caught on fire. Everyone starts running around and they're freaking out. And this kid is looking at the king. Aren't you going to get up? Aren't you going to evacuate? Look, all of these rare books, they're burning. All of these jewels are being set on fire. All of your kingdom, all of these people, everything is like going up into flames. Like the castle, you should evacuate. You should save yourself. And the king looks at the child and says, in the moment of truth, in the moment where it mattered the most, the thing that you cared the most about was the flesh and the material belongings. I know, this is what the king said, I know that in each moment of truth, no matter what occurs, life or death, mind, body, spirit, the most important thing is not the flesh, but what is beyond. And immediately, somehow, the whole castle just stopped being on fire. And the kid was like, whoa, I've been enlightened, thank you. But that story came to mind. So I'm getting that your soul's blueprint for success, it might have a little bit to do with you taking that position of the king there, where you understand that things can be symbiotic here. We also have, with the Page of Wands and the Knight of Wands, this energy of you perhaps being a teacher, like you growing and leading by example. Okay, so it's your path that tells your story. Your footprints tell your story. Your footprints lead the way. So that's why it's important for you to walk this path. And so your soul's blueprint for success, it's a little less, if you can figure this out and do this right, and you end up hitting the jackpot in this area and you do everything perfectly, then that is your success. No, it's a little bit more along the lines of you choosing to walk a journey and continuing to move forward on the journey is where your success comes from. You even got the literal success card here. As you follow your heart and you do what you know is right, and you understand that your priorities are in order, and I say that lightly because we're all different individuals, right? But when your priorities are in order and you allow yourself to have a healthy, solar plexus chakra, as well as all the rest of your chakras, right? So many people in the spiritual community demonize the solar plexus chakra, like, it needs love too, just like all the other ones, right? Of course, you want it to be balanced and happy and healthy. No more, no less, okay? So, your soul's blueprint for success, it has a lot to do with you taking a look at how attachment can be a burden around you. But that doesn't mean that you don't get to have abundance around you. And that is what this success is. This is part of the blueprint here. So your spirituality, your level of consciousness, it gives you the awareness that what you can hold in your hands is not what is important. But that does not mean that you don't get to enjoy it. It's kind of like the appreciation of the little things, because you're in this awareness that this life is so small. This life is so short. Your whole soul, your whole consciousness, it is way further beyond expanded than just your body. But that doesn't mean that you don't get to enjoy your body, feel pleasure in your body. It doesn't mean that you don't get to enjoy good food or really live in the moment and be present. It doesn't mean that you don't get to have nice things. You can be a good person and do good things. You can have an abundant, beautiful life internally and externally. In fact, that is the point. So, we have this transformation of the way that there's a structure here that you are here to transform as you walk away from what the norm is, and you find that as you continue to do this, things evolve for you and get more and more blessed. You walk away from maybe toxicity in a family unit. You walk away from maybe dogma that doesn't serve you, or some sort of community that is oppressive to someone or something like this. And you find that none of those things that you were taught are important really are, but that doesn't mean that you don't get to enjoy them. And you find that you get more and more blessed over time. You find that the attachment is the burden, the expectation is the burden, not the thing itself. And so, with that, it kind of allows you this freedom, this liberation. And that transforms your life, but in the process, it also transforms a larger system, a larger community. And just the journey of you doing this, the byproduct of this, the result of this, the symptoms of this are success in your life across the board. Again, going back to what does success mean to you? Your soul's blueprint for success is finding what success means for you, and you'll probably find that definition and then walk a little bit of a spiral road as you know what it is, as it's your central point, and you walk like a little spiral staircase going around it, understanding that your central point is still your central point, but that doesn't mean you don't get to experience the nuances of life, mind, body, and spirit. And so, as this occurs, your life becomes more abundant, your life begins to expand, your consciousness begins to expand, and all of the while you are using your spiritual gifts in some way, shape, or form in order to make the world a better place and allow yourself to be blessed in ways that you are learning to understand. You would not be able to be blessed in these ways if it was not divinely intended. And so, there are things that come up, such as ethics. There are things that come up, such as fairness. There are things that come up, such as you wanting to be humanitarian, and things that come up, such as you people-pleasing and wanting to learn how to be more selfish. There are things that come up along the road. But it is the fact that you walk all of these microcosms that actually bring systemic abundance and systemic success. And so for this, your success is very, very overt to the world around you and to you. And for this reason, you might kind of feel sometimes like I'm hearing the phrase like getting caught with your pants around your ankles. Okay, weird phrase, I know, but it's like you might almost feel like you are getting caught like almost like bare naked. Because your abundance, it's so overt that it's to show when you are, like, good things happen to good people. The universe is listening. There is much more than meets the eye. Yes, you can do this. Yes, there is a solution here. So, your blueprint for success, it's a little bit more of you being the most authentic version of yourself possible, materially and spiritually, and of course mentally and emotionally as well, without getting attached to any of those stories, those paradigms, or any of the nuances that might come up along the way. Continuing to move forward and continuing to transform, while understanding that your anchor there, it is the love and gratitude in your heart. And also the fact that you do have access to these spiritual gifts that don't make it unfair to others. It actually makes it so that it's equal and fair to you. Because as you are going to know, group number 2, you were not dealt the same hand in life that most other people were. But you have all of these spiritual gifts, and it's very overt. Therefore, other people might look at you and think that you've got a leg up, that you've got privilege for this reason, and that might be why you could be shy about it, or used to be shy about it. But if you were actually to read the book of your story and someone were to keep score, you would find that actually all is fair and balanced at the end of the day. So group number 2, interesting reading here. This is your soul's blueprint for success. I hope this shed love, light, and clarity for you. I do offer personals if you'd like a one-on-one. They're in the description box. You can find them on my Etsy. I have a whole spiritual store there. If you'd like to meditate with me, I have a 21-day virtual meditation retreat that I just launched. You can find that first link in the description box below. I have started a book club. If you're interested in joining, it is donation-based, $1 barrier to entry. We're having our next meeting in August. You can find that on my Patreon if you want to follow along. And if you are interested in exclusive content, you can find that here on YouTube on my Inner Circle channel. You can find another one on Patreon. You can also find another one on TikTok. So don't forget to follow me on TikTok. I have my biggest following over there. Or on Instagram, I have my smallest following over there. And if you'd like exclusive content, I have 3 different options for that so that you can find what resonates with you and your journey the best. I love you. I'm grateful for you. Please have an amazing rest of your day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful magical realm. Feel free to check out another pile or another reading, and I will see you next time. Namaste. Hi there, Group 3. Namaste, and welcome to your reading. Today we are taking a look at your soul's blueprint for success, and you selected the third group with the Calling in Manifestations card. Group 3, the first thing that I'm getting here for you is that you are unrelatable, and that is the point. Your soul's blueprint for success has something to do with your unique nature, but we're all individuals here. But there's something that you are entirely unrelatable, and that is fully the point. You are almost, I'm getting like inside out or fully 180 degrees of what it is that is either expected of people, of you, of someone in your field, of your community, whatever it is. And your soul's blueprint for success has a lot to do with you being yourself in this world, but also your manifestation abilities. Now, it might seem that you are collecting a bunch of irrelevant pieces together from an external perspective. However, you're able to see the puzzle. This puzzle is one that, in putting together in process, in practicum, is seemingly extraordinarily unrelatable. Now, what I'm getting is that really you're ahead of your time. So that while this seems unrelatable, this is something that should be relatable, more likely will be relatable, not necessarily should. I'm also being shown the book Kshnoom, which is a Zoroastrian book on spirituality, kind of in the way that we practice spirituality, but it's like a Zoroastrian. They talk about colors and frequencies and sounds and which ones go with which and how to apply them in like an energetic perspective. So those of you who might have been interested in that, or that might ring a bell for somebody out here. Anyway, your spiritual blueprints, your soul's blueprint for success here, it does have a lot to do with your, I'm hearing whimsicality, like whimsicalness, okay? But it's also something where you might feel like every single community that you join, every single energy that you are around, you might always be the odd one out. I'm getting like social butterfly vibes. I'm getting vibes of someone who is friends with all of the friend groups, but not in any of the friend groups, but you're in all of them and none of them at the same time. Everybody sees themselves in you, but you don't see yourself in them. It's the kind of energy where, say you have spiritual friends or things like this, everyone would say, oh, I remember you, and I feel so drawn to you. And for you, it's you don't have that in return, because your energy, it is so unique. And it's also so magnetic. It's also this energy that is very connected to the divine. It's very connected to spirit. And so for this reason, you likely will find that you can read everybody, but nobody can read you. You might be able to find that you have understanding that others don't have any more, and don't have any, and understanding that people don't have any more, and understanding that people don't have yet. I'm hearing the abridged version, in a sense where they're one and the same. I'm also being shown Taylor Swift. I'm not super familiar with her modern discography. Okay, so if there's like an abridged version of something, that could be significant for someone here too. If that rings a bell for someone, please drop it in the comments for group 3, because I don't have that info on hand. Your soul's blueprint for success, it's got a lot to do with you kind of taking charge, in a sense, not taking charge of something, not in like a control sense, not in like a power sense, but rather in a sense of you taking control of your own life and your own narrative. Likely because your manifestations are your own. Like, it's important that you go to a weird place or that you study a weird thing. It's important that you are practicing all of these things that are unrelatable, because I'm getting that in a sense you represent energetically the underdog. Now, it's not to say that you won't, like, I'm not getting that you're unsuccessful in this life. I'm not getting that you are an underdog in a sense, like, that's negative, but I'm getting that you represent the success. Like, you are the blueprint. You are the blueprint for success for the underdog. For example, that book Kshnoom that came out, okay, the Zoroastrian spiritual guide Kshnoom, that's like, that example was reaching from spirit, but it's not reaching meaning that it's far off. It's reaching meaning like, you know, it's not secret teachings of all ages. It's not the power of now, you know, it's not the 4 agreements, you know, it's not one of those that You mention it to someone who's not even spiritual, and they'll be like, oh yeah, I've read it 5 times, you know? There's nothing wrong with that either, right? We want to spread all the positivity in the world that we can, right? It's good, it's positive, but there's something about the weird, the quirky, the underdog, the information that people don't think to learn about, the places people don't think to look, the people that people don't think to exalt, the energies that were forgotten and are yet to be remembered. You might feel very much so like you are the embodiment of the blueprint of something that is so ancient and simultaneously so ahead of your time. It's like the 3 and the 9 is what you are. And that is why it's not 3, 6, 9, because 6 is the present moment. It is the embodiment. It is 3, 9, because you are those energies walking through the present moment. Your soul's blueprint for success. It's a little bit more about you are the blueprint to success that has already occurred and therefore will happen again, because history will repeat itself if you do not learn from it. However, you are the embodiment of the history that is destined to repeat itself in a positive way because people have not learned about it. They have intentionally forgot it and replaced it with something else. You are the blueprint of the forgotten, the blueprint of the overlooked, the blueprint of the whimsical. And that, I really dig group 3. I gotta say, beautiful, wonderful energy. You also selected the calling and manifestation card. Now, what are you manifesting? You likely manifest, now I'm really being shown the word all, and the word calling as well. Most likely, may all beings be happy and free. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. You might manifest these. May all beings be happy and free. You might manifest, may I get closer to the universe, to source, to God, every moment of every day. May I be blessed, and may all those alive be blessed. These might be the things that you manifest. You pray the forgotten prayers. You set the forgotten intentions. You manifest the things that people forget to manifest. And sure, maybe you ask for some money here or there, or a little bit of action in your love life. Maybe you want good friends and you want to connect with beautiful spiritual people, right? Maybe you want a new car, a new house, right? We can manifest these things. But your spiritual blueprint for success, it has a lot to do with the forgotten and the weird. And so also, the more that you lean into those energies, the more successful you will become in a myriad of ways. And we're going to get into the tarot right now, so we're going to get more information, a little more details for you, right? Tarot is a little more tangible, so the info is going to be a little more tangible, right? But your soul's blueprint for success, it has a lot to do with you praying that forgotten prayer, you setting that forgotten intention, you manifesting that forgotten manifestation, you studying that forgotten material, you hugging that forgotten person, you loving those forgotten souls. And it's also about you laying down the groundwork for when this comes again. I'm really not trying to give second coming vibes here, okay? But it's a little bit what this is, okay? Some of you might resonate with the new age, what do they call it? The new earth, right? Vibes. A lot of you probably resonate with that energy. But it might be also something about like holding on to what is ancient, not in an attached way, but in a way where it's like, wow, we really came away from our roots, right? Humans are supposed to be one with the earth, and we live like sometimes 2, 3, 50 stories in the sky, right? And so you might have this energy like, no, like I want to eat berries that have grown naturally. I want to read the time by looking at the sky. I want to navigate using directions from the stars. Energy like this. Now, it doesn't need to be so earthly, so grounded. It can also be, I want to learn about what happened in Mesopotamia. I want to learn about the things that are not maybe super popular, like what's super popular right now in spirituality. It's things like Greece, ancient Greece, ancient Egypt, right? Super pop. And maybe you're like, I really want to learn from where that came from, though. Mesoamerica, Mesopotamia. And where was before that? Oh, we don't know. Yes, we do. We do. Humanity does. The information is there. Might not be on the first page of Google, but you have access to it. And so do other people. This is about you loving the forgotten, you exalting the forgotten, you learning the weird, the quirky, you going to that place that other people don't travel, you befriending that person that other people don't befriend, but also at the same time, you not being so fully isolated by these weird antiquities, you also being that again, social butterfly energy where you are friends with all of the friend groups. You are not just a floater, but you are also not so anchored into one that you over-identify with it. Now, I have to say, group 3, this is really giving healthy root chakra energy. Super healthy root chakra. Okay, root chakra, you don't feel like too comfortable everywhere that you are. You're not in a stranger's home kicking your shoes off, putting your feet on the table, like, messing up their bath towels in their bathroom. But no matter where you are, you do feel a sense of home. You don't feel... you might feel like you can travel the world and find a home there, find your people there, find something that you like there. It's very comfortable. Your root chakra is home, and that's not a building. That's not a person. That's a feeling. It's an energy. It's really beautiful. It's really, really giving happy, healthy, thriving root chakra. And that's an energy that I have to say in this modern age, it's very, very rare, okay? Objectively rare, because when we think of our root chakra, we think of what, like stability, security, and that's what, house that is not connected to earth, which is the ruler of the root chakra. We think about security, stability, which is what, money, which is a social construct and a paper. Sometimes it's also like this idea. We exchange this concept of currency, with Bitcoin, with our credit cards, with our debit cards, with paper, right? And it's so not what the root chakra is. So that might also have been a little bit of a journey that you walk or have walked in your spiritual journey or your physical journey as well, right? And it's not to like denounce currency, because you gotta eat, you gotta live. It's also not to be so focused on it that you forget, earth energy. So it's really beautiful. So part of your soul's blueprint as well, it talks about the full embodiment of all of those things, but it's the actual true manifestation of what it is to be stable and healthy and a good support in this life, which is something that we are kind of taught in a distorted way, just by default as a human on this planet at this modern age. And it's something that used to be and something that will be again. But today we're in that place where it's like entropy, right? Things are scrambling. They were in an order and they're scrambling, and they will be in an order. Entropy is like basically controlled chaos. It's not really controlled, organized chaos, okay? So way better word for it. And so there's a little bit of this energy of you having that center, you understanding, you seeing through what is and also what they say was, and understanding what truly was and what truly is, to really see what will be. And so also you might have very strong premonition abilities, very strong spiritual gifts, very strong manifestation abilities, but you're seeing the future, maybe premonitions in a way that matters. It's not, is it this timeline or this timeline or this timeline or this timeline? It's no. So outside of that, here is the truth, and here is the energy, here is the vibe, here is the fact. And it's not, this will happen, and then this guy does this thing, and da-da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, well, what about this timeline? Well, not in my reality, because we all create. It's not that. It's truth. It's not stories. And that also in and of itself is a very, let's call it underdog energy. It's the spine. It's the backbone. And everyone's so focused on their, hair, nails, hips, heels, hair, nail, hips, heels, right? No one's talking about the spine. Our energetic collective's got a great case of lordosis going on right now. But you're here standing up straight, standing up tall, maybe with the backbone, proverbially, right? And that is your energetic blueprint for success. You might also have very good posture, So let's get into the tarot, and we're going to pull more info for our lovely, beautiful group 3. So what is your soul's blueprint for success? Okay, She wants to come out. The world. Okay, yes, of course. It's really giving end of an age, beginning of a new one, but it's kind of like, again, that 39 energy. 39 energy with the Hanged Man, number 12. Of course. I'm being shown Pioneer Town. It's near, kind of near me. Pioneer Town. It's in California. Okay, 7 of Swords with the 6 of Cups. Okay, there's some sort... Oh, I see. There's some sort of distortion about what was. And you're bringing about the truth here. There's some sort of distortion about, oh, Babylon equals bad. No, Babylon was what all of those who said Babylon was bad copied and then demonized. It's something like that. And hot topic, I know. Okay, we don't have to go there. But it's something like, it's that vibe, okay? It's giving that energy. Okay? There's also this energy of you standing up for what's right in the past. Okay? It's like this energy of you, this energy of you being a vessel, a channel for the divine. Some of you might be channelers specifically, but also you, like, I'm hearing, like, calling in manifestations, okay? The less manifested ones, right? Divine work through me. Prepare me to be a sanctuary. Let me be a vessel of you, of your peace, of your divinity, of your love. And just simply embodying that, exuding that, it is you walking around maybe like a whimsical weirdo who has an interest in uncommon things. And I mean that in the biggest compliment kind of way, by the way, from me to you. We also do have this, look, notice that the 9 is upside down on this 9 of Wands. And that looks like an 11. And right next to it we have an 11. So we've got 11-11 vibes coming out here. But it's like the 11, it's the humanitarianism. 9 of Wands, it's sometimes defensiveness. You know, someone who just came off a battlefield, they're still holding their weapon. They've been through a lot. They're still ready to go, but they don't need to anymore. Okay? And it is their refusal to put that weapon down when they're no longer on the battlefield that causes that breakdown that is the 10 of Wands. However, this card is reversed, which is saying here that you stand up for the underdog. This is your blueprint for success. You love the quote-unquote unlovables. You embrace those who don't really get embraced. You remember those who rarely get remembered. And this isn't about you, it's about them. It's not about yourself, it's about the bigger picture. I'm hearing again, Loka samasta sukhi no bhavantu. May all beings be happy and free. That is your blueprint for success. I'm being shown, like, honestly, icons. Being shown Martin Luther King Jr. I'm being shown Greta Thunberg. I'm being shown Nelson Mandela. May all beings be happy and free. This is your blueprint for success. There seems to be this this adjustment of the scales in some way, this balancing of the scales, that you are, like, sleeves rolled up, getting hands dirty, involved in, just to help bring humanity or a community just forward an extra inch, an extra mile, an extra kilometer, an extra few centimeters. Okay, for those of you, I'm in the States, I know most people are not, okay. An extra kilometer, an extra few centimeters, okay, just to help move the scale. I'm being shown the book The Tipping Point. That's been on my TBR for a while and I haven't gotten into it. So that can be significant for some of you. Maybe you want to read it. Maybe you want to send me an email and be like, you should read it. It's really good. Or maybe you shouldn't read it. Here's what I learned from it. You don't need to read the book. Whatever it is. Okay. That could be significant for some of you. Let's see. What is group number 3's soul's blueprint for success? Liberation. Liberation of a community that likely has some sort of opposition to their own liberation. I'm being shown, interesting pull here, but I'm being shown Moses parting the Red Sea. Okay. I have no religious or political associations with that story, just to let you know. Okay. So we have the Page of Swords here, Ace of Swords. Okay. Yeah, and I was being shown Greta. Okay. I'm going to put the pin in that right there. Okay, but there's a message. There's something that you see, and there's a message that you have, and there's a way that you can use what is unseen, unheard, unfathomed, uninteresting to others. It's not what is popular and what is cool, it's what's forgotten and what is like not common. It's like you preserving that energy by you learning about it. Say that there's something that is about to go extinct. Maybe this a great example is a language that is like a dead language, except maybe your grandparents' generation still speaks this language. But after that, maybe they didn't really pass the language down. And so after a particular generation is gone, that language will become a dead language. It's something like you make an effort to learn that language and then later to teach it to others so that it doesn't die. It lives on within you. I'm hearing that song from The Lion King. He lives in you. Banger. Okay. But it's something like this. Something that is easily overlooked or conveniently overlooked. And something that makes your heart so happy and so sad at the same time. Which makes sense, okay? So, as we're connecting with this energy, this is looking like something where you can see a community and you can see how the information they have or the tools that they're using, it's still based in some sort of manipulation or intentional distortion, or even just missing a few pieces that are meant to be there. But you seem to have access to them. You seem to understand it. You seem to be connected to it. It's like, and that is part of your purpose here, the occult. You might have like your midheaven or your north node or a lot of action going on in like Scorpio or your 8th house, something like that coming up here, especially with the Judgment card. Calling in manifestations. You seem to attract those who need, I'm getting like those who need a home. Like you might be the kind who, I say this a lot with utmost love, okay, with people, places, things, plants, animals, doesn't matter, like kind of adopting strays, you might be, it can be that you have or are interested in some sort of sanctuary or something like this, but it can be also sanctuary like for people, sanctuary for politics, sanctuary for spirituality, sanctuary for animals, sanctuary for endangered plants, something like that. I'm also getting like conservation of endangered animals, endangered plants, endangered belief systems, endangered languages, endangered, right? And it kind of gets a little less from the popular side when I say endangered animals. Conservation of endangered animals, everyone knows what I'm talking about. But as soon as it gets a little more into the interesting ones, like conservation of endangered recipes, endangered spiritual gifts, endangered, right? The quirky stuff, right? The things that are important to remember because they're not highlighted right now in maybe pop culture and spirituality in the world, right? Your soul's blueprint for success. It has a lot to do with, and I'm sure you know this, okay, and I'm sure some of us have some feelings about it, but it's going to be saying the thing that people don't say. It's going to be doing the stuff that people aren't doing. It's going to be learning the things that people are going to go, well, why? It is seeing those who are unseen. It is hearing those who are unheard. It is loving those who are unloved. Because no one truly is. Because you manifest. Because you're an amazing manifester. You're an amazing soul. Your soul's blueprint for success is utilizing those skills to answer prayers, to answer manifestations, to be a saving grace or an angel or whatever analogy or energy you connect with spiritually, walking through this energy. Because your prayer is, may all beings be happy and free. Your manifestation, your affirmation, it is divine work through me. And so when someone says, hey, I don't know if I'm going to have food to eat this week, Universe, please help me out, and you come through. Universe, please work through me, and guess what it is that you do? You end up in a weird corner of a weird town and a weird day in a weird place holding some weird food, and you give it to this weird person. And for a moment, everything is okay again. And that's, dare I say, badass group 3. Okay, it's a little bit of my human persona coming through outside of this, the spiritual connection vibes, right? And I have to say, throughout this reading, I've been hearing the song, "Oh, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true." And I really am getting that is your blueprint for success. Success to a lot of people, it's it's money and it's cars and it's houses and it's fame and it's lovers or it's whatever, and it's not to say that in being a good person, humanitarianism, it's not saying that you have to renounce the things in this physical life, right? You can help people and be abundant. You can have fun and enjoy yourself and your body and the world without being superficial about it. You can, of course, renounce all of the worldly things and fully take this on, and one is not better than the other. They're just different paths. But the point here is that integrity, that intention, that manifestation, because it might be divine work through me, and all of a sudden you get drenched in Chanel and you're like, okay, weird flex, but okay. But you didn't ask for it. You weren't out there looking for it. And it's because maybe there's someone else like you. Maybe there's someone else like you. And maybe they have a conflict there about that. That can't be okay. That can't be spiritual to like the things that exist in this realm. Whether it be love, or sex, or stuff, or anything. There's so many people like to exalt and deflate certain things for fun in the spiritual realm because they think it makes them better than everyone else. And for you might even stand up for that energy. And it's not, again, it's not about hierarchy. It's about loving, like picking first for gym class, the one who always gets picked last. It's about sharing your lunch with someone who always sits at the table alone. It's about loving those who are forgotten, remembering languages and cultures and gifts, spiritual gifts that are forgotten. It's gorgeous and it's beautiful and it's so inherently you, group 3. Looking directly at the overlooked. And learning from the past to set a foundation for the future. And that success, it's going to come through you. It's going to come to you and it's going to come through you in a way that shows others that their definition of success is correct. And it's also not the only correct one. Because you embody all of it. It's very spherical. And that is giving a microphone to the oppressed. That is using your resources where it's most needed. Might not always be the most popular choice. Sometimes it might be. It's not about non-conformity for the sake of not conforming. It's about being a sanctuary. It's about being a vessel for the divine to work through you. It's about manifesting higher consciousness. It's about manifesting not like stronger clairvoyance and cooler spiritual gifts. It's manifesting like divine work through me. Utilize me to be exactly what is needed in this world, exactly what it is that you intend for me, no more, no less. And it might bring us to some weird directions. You might have some interesting hobbies. You might like some stuff that other people aren't, it's not super popular where you are from to like things like that. But that is your soul's blueprint for success. And you might find that definition of soul and blueprint and success shift and change and evolve over time. into new, into the old, and then back into new, and then somewhere in between, and that's also part of it too for you. And I love that. Group number 3, that is your reading. If you'd like to meditate with me, it's going to be the first link in the description box. If you'd like a personal with me, you can find that in the description box as well. It's on my spiritual store on Etsy at Spiritualistik. I've got a ton of little spiritual stuff up there. I love to wrap crystals. I make tarot and oracle decks. I've written some books. I've got some merch. Got candles up there. Meditation cushions. If you want to sit on a meditation cushion while we meditate together on my virtual retreat, we can do that. It's so fun. If you would like exclusive content, I have a channel for that here on YouTube, a channel for that on Patreon, and a channel for that on TikTok, all of which are different. So you can find what you need, stay where you like. And also, if you're interested in joining my book club, it is fully donation-based, $1 barrier to entry. You can find it on my Patreon. We have our next meeting August 2025. That way, I'm not giving you homework. We're just reading something that we all voted on, and we're having thought-provoking conversations about common interests. It's just, it's fun. It's a book club. I love you. I'm grateful for you. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful magical realm. Feel free to check out another pile or another reading, and I'll see you next time. Namaste.